Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you'll meet an expert in commercial real estate. He'll talk about the outlook for the next 12 months. Next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
So the last 2 years have been fairly challenging for the economy. It's been sluggish, you might say, but then the Fed started lowering interest rates, and so we're now seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. Doug Banerjee is with Greysteel. He is an expert in multifamily. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And if we look out over the horizon of commercial real estate, I can't think of a better place to play than in multifamily. Talk about why that's your specialty.
Yeah, I would agree. So I got into this business about 13 years ago, and everybody needs a roof over their head, right? So multifamily is just another word in the commercial real estate industry for apartments, and there's always going to be a need for housing. So I got in the industry 13 years ago, like I mentioned. I started out as an investor, and I just really had a passion for it. I own a bunch of student housing properties up at West Virginia University, and here I run a 10-person team on the market rate sales side of things, and our 10-person team covers what I call a 5-hour radius. So we have 5 professionals focused on DFW, 1 who covers Oklahoma, 2 who cover East Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and 2 that cover West through Central Texas.
And when the Fed started lowering interest rates about a month ago, did you see something change in the psychology of the market?
The sentiment definitely shifted, which is great, and I'm very optimistic about 2025 and sales activity picking up from our peak in late or 2021 and early 2022 before the Fed started raising rates were the peak of the last sales cycle, which was about 10 years long. And the last 2 years have been pretty challenging. As rates have gone up, there's been a lot of distress in the market. Interest rates, climbed at a historic rate that's never been seen before. And now that the Feds have made the first cut of what we hope to be many over the next, 2+ years, the sentiment has certainly shifted.
Tell us more about Greysteel, because you guys have a great reputation in the industry.
I appreciate it. So Greysteel was founded by Ari Firuzabadi in January 2012. I opened the office here in Texas January of 2014, and we are professional services in the commercial real estate industry. We do 3 main things. We do investment sales across different product types. I specialize in multifamily, for example. We also sell self-storage, hotels, retail in different markets. We provide joint venture equity in a programmatic fashion, typically not deal by deal, but we'll arrange with an institutional partner for ground up developments or portfolio growth, joint venture equity. And then we also help out on the debt side of things. We can finance all commercial products. So whether that be a construction loan, an acquisition loan, or a refinance.
Sure. Your CEO and founder made a great video. Let's go ahead and roll that.
Greysteel is a national commercial real estate services firm. It would be akin to an investment bank. If you own an asset that's a $5 or $50 million asset, you have a few options to get to the most appropriate capital loan solution for you. Our firm helps our clients throughout the United States, and they hire us to help them value the asset and then identify the most appropriate solution for them. We go out and create a marketplace, create competitive tension, and then help our client identify the best end result for them, whether it's a sale or a refinance or a recycling of equity capital. We do that on a sole source basis.
Wow. And I know you were bragging about your founder. Tell us about what he brings to the company.
Yeah, so Ari's been in the industry for over 20 years. he's just a very dynamic individual, very well versed in a lot of different areas. He's owned a lot of real estate. He's brokered billions of dollars worth of real estate and advised clients in a number of areas. So he's been not only a mentor for myself and everyone else on the platform, he's been a true partner as well.
And one of his geniuses is surrounding himself with brilliant people. So let's go ahead and pull up the team page of the website, because I want you to brag about your dream team. Tell us about the kinds of people who are being attracted.
Yeah, so listed across the top here is going to be our senior leadership with Steve Schwartz, our COO, Lacey Willard, who joined us recently from CBRE, and Mark Bittenbender has been with Greysteel almost since day one. Then you've got John Renslow, also a former CBRE executive, Carl Brown, who heads up our finance and accounting, Mike Feppelstein, our VP of HR, and Yasi, who was employee number one at Greysteel. So she oversees all the corporate services and operations.
Sure, and if we scroll down a little further on that same page, it shows your team. You said you have 5 on your team?
10 on the market rate side. So this is for the entire firm, of which we have about, I think, 80 producers. So it would take a while to scroll the way down, but there's myself listed next to Ari. If we go further down, Jack Stone, who's listed there as managing director, he's part of our 10-person team. He covers El Paso and works on the DFW team as well. And then we've got 9 other individuals that are based here in Dallas that cover that 5-hour radius. But yeah, we've got about 80 professionals there on our website.
Wow, congratulations. Tell me one of your favorite success stories.
So most recently, and we've worked with the small mom and pop owner, selling an asset that might be their only one, and we've worked with institutional operators. So one of the more institutional ones, top 25 as far as number of units owned, recently asked us to help them sell an asset that they own in a state. I'm not going to give too many details, but it was their only one, and it was kind of a thorn in their side for a while. And they really just wanted to kind of get this off their books because it was a drag kind of on their asset management and everything else. And so they had a couple other brokers looking for them, and we were able to bring them a buyer that was able to execute and purchase this asset and get it off their plate. So that was a huge success story. Not only because it resulted in a closing, but really just helping the client out.
Sure. Both of us are proud members of EO Dallas. That's Entrepreneurs Organization. It's a global organization of entrepreneurs. And you joined 5 years ago. Tell us why you joined.
Yeah, so EO Dallas has been great. Just, for me developing as an individual. So there's the business component of it, and then you talk about family and personal. So I joined a forum right after joining EO Dallas, become really close with the other 7 individuals in my forum. We get to go on a retreat every year as a group, and then as a chapter, I've gone on those chapter retreats as well, which is great to get to know the other 150 plus members that are there, but really just getting the experiences of other business owners and understanding their trials and tribulations is great, because it's nice to be around like-minded individuals, which is why I've joined, and I'm the finance chair on the board this year and have gotten to know a dozen other people really well, because I meet with them every month for our board meeting and try to give back that way.
Nice, and they have all these events around the globe, including the really big events. Here's a little clip.
Welcome to the 2024 Global Leadership Conference in Singapore. GLC is exciting, but connection.
The atmosphere is electric. You can literally feel the energy when you walk into a room of 1,800 entrepreneurs.
GLC has been mind-blowing and really exciting.
Wow, and you've attended a number of events. In fact, there's a big event coming up in Fort Worth in 2 weeks. It's a big regional event. Let's talk a little bit about why somebody would want to join EO if they're visiting this show for the first time. What do you think an entrepreneur would gain from joining EO?
I mean, I've gained so much, but I think just really, once again, being around like-minded individuals and being able to kind of share big wins or just, discussing losses, things that are kind of weighing you down. It's hard to discuss those things unless you are a business owner or entrepreneur yourself. And so I think kind of having that as kind of a peer group is very valuable. And we have great speakers. So there's a lot of different learning activities. One that comes to mind last year that I went to was Eric Maddox, who was the lead interrogator that found Saddam Hussein. So that was really cool because you don't get to experience things like that unless you're in an organization like EO. And so for me, that was like a once in a lifetime experience to hear him speak and the psychology around how he was able to find Saddam, for example.
Outstanding. Well, you've been an amazing guest, Doug. We're going to end with your company website, which is Greysteel.com. The great Doug Banerjee. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.